Good morning, Jai Jagannath. And to begin with, I'll thank Narsima Prasad sir that he kind of told me that we are having such a nice convention over 3 days. And really, after coming here, the arrangements are superb. So thanks to the organizers. To begin with, now coming to the topic, sir was asking what is the regulator's perspective on the role. So I will limit my perspective to the role of the IP. See, if you see the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, the preamble itself says that there are two objectives. One is value maximization and meeting of the timelines. So with these two objectives, if we have to work as from the regulator to help us out, he was saying that he's my boss. We are not bosses. I would say he is my frontline regulator. And when the frontline regulator works efficiently, then only the regulator gets all the information and support to work efficiently as it is supposed to be. So we have three IPAs, Insolvency Professional Agencies. IBC, to begin with, just giving a background, IBC was brought in 2016. We have four pillars, we say: IPs, adjudicating authorities, NESL, and NESL is the information utility, and then we have IPAs. So insolvency professional agencies are from ICSI, CSI, ICSI, ICAI, and then ICMAI, IPA. So these three IPAs are our frontline regulators. They regulate the members. So basically, more or less, the profession from which they come, they join the particular, though it's open to, they can join any of the IPA. Generally, the professionals join the IPA to which they belong because it gives a kind of a synergy and symphony is there. So from regulators' perspective, from what is that we are looking at from the IPs. Insolvency professionals are the most key element for IBC. And in that, we are looking at our main objective is that we should get value maximization and we should get the resolutions in time-bound manner. Narsima Prasad sir started with whatever we have, the data that we have. The data are very impressive. In fact, IBC and IBBI is a very unique kind of setup. And in that setup, even in many developed world, you will not have this kind of a codified system, and also a codified system which lays down the institutions. It lays down an institution called IBBI, it lays down an institution called NESL, which is the information utility, which keeps all the records. It lays down the system of adjudicating authorities in terms of NCLT and CLAT. So nowhere in the world, in the other parts of the world, it has grown more, I would say, organically over the years. In India, it was very well thought out. A legal background is very solid legal background in which the IPs have to work. So IPs basically have to focus on two things as to how do you, right now Dwivedi sir, before this session was starting, he was talking about health. So what is it that takes a company to IBC? It's that it's become unhealthy, or in a very some people say it's going to like going to an ICU. So you are basically, I personally compare that an insolvency professional is akin to a doctor who brings back the company from the brinks of failure, where all the capital is lost, to ease of exit out of ICU and reworking the capital into the system. So we had the freedom of entry in 1991 when we opened up the system. In 2000s, we had the perfect market competition through Competition Commission of India. And in 2016, we have a regulator, IBBI, which is ensuring freedom to exit, and that exit should be very well coordinated. And that has actually led to a jump in ease of doing business, world rankings, from to almost from 6 to 60 points. And then now World Bank has, though subsequently stopped that ease of doing business, we are now into be ready environment. So insolvency professionals do a very yeoman job. They are a very unique profession, and they lead they work in an environment which is very challenging, but they do two kinds of things. One,
they do a public service, because as Narasimha Prasad sir had talked, that they bring back the help in bringing back the capital, and they kind of encourage market mechanism to work in tandem with what we are looking at, and that is a Viksit Bharat in somewhere around 2047. So from a regulator's perspective, the idea is that the IP should work with ethics. The IP should be well trained, for which we have continuous professional, for ethics we have code of conduct, and for working efficiently we have guidelines and continuous professional education knowledge. All the three IPAs help us in organizing training programs on a continuous basis, and then during the professional course of working, there is handholding by way of which I'm sure Manisha Madam and JD sir would be talking about, as to how continuous support systems work. So from IP's part, we are looking at growing role of from regulators part, as he said. We are looking at growing role of IPs in the entire ecosystem. In fact, recently RBI came out with a circular where they have said that the IPs would be working in securitization, some part in a very particular role in the securitization of assets. So the role is growing, the demand is growing, and then our expectations from them is, which I outlined just now. I won't take more time. Thank you, sir.